Well, I'd like.
Other than that, I've been fairly decent, Alan. Busy, but good. My little brother was in town last week, and so like we had one family time, and the week before that, I was in our ranch. Fairly busy for the last 2 weeks. How about yourself?
Good. Well, I'm glad you're here. The reason we do these rooms is because, for me, this is what I'm doing. I have found, and the candidate may really appreciate this, I have found giving money to candidates to be an incredibly unsatisfying candidate. You will be invited back at some point, but I don't like the way that was going. We have a culture here, and we don't talk over people, and I don't care who you are. We're going to maintain a respectful conversation, and I know you didn't know that because you're new to the room. You will be given a chance. But I do want you to know that giving money is profoundly unsatisfying for me, and I think for many of us, particularly. I gave a good deal of money to Charlie Crist, which I'm sure many of you won't be happy about, but I gave a good deal of money to Charlie Crist and was profoundly disappointed. And of course, I was disappointed in the results for Kamala. So I am interested in stimulating our involvement in society through this marvelous tool of Clubhouse, because I think cynicism is probably one of the most dangerous, pervasive part of Americanism, and I want to do my bit to fight it. So if somebody says, I didn't vote for him, so don't hold me responsible, or I didn't vote, so don't hold me responsible, that's a problem. If someone says, all presidents lie, that is the problem. And tonight we are going to talk about truthfulness and lying, and I really want to get into this issue of all presidents lie, but I want to get into it with some degree of control, not like a normal. So, because we all need reality testing, we absolutely have this room because I am eager to find as much agreement as I can, and I'm surprised when I find agreement with people who I didn't think I would agree with. We have some people, and Marshall is one of them.
Critical thinking forum, and of course, ask the atheist and ask Uncle Steve. I'm your friendly neighborhood club deck operator, and without further ado, I'm going to play a little clip from the great Paul Harvey, originating circa 1965.
If I were the devil, if I were the prince of darkness, I'd want to engulf the whole world in darkness. And I'd have a third of its real estate and 4/5 of its population, but I wouldn't be happy until I had seized the ripest apple on the tree. So I set about, however necessary, to take over the United States. I'd subvert the churches first. I'd begin with a campaign of whispers. With the wisdom of a serpent, I would whisper to you as I whispered to Eve, do as you please. To the young, I would whisper that the Bible is a myth. I would convince them that man created God instead of the other way around. I would confide that what's bad is good, what's good is square. And the old, I would teach to pray after me, Our Father, which art in Washington. And then I'd get organized. I'd educate authors in how to make literature exciting so that anything else would appear dull and uninteresting. I'd threaten TV with dirtier movies, and vice versa. I'd peddle narcotics to whom I could. I'd sell alcohol to ladies and gentlemen of distinction. I'd tranquilize the rest with pills. If I were the devil, I'd soon have families at war with themselves, churches at war with themselves, and nations at war with themselves, until each in its turn was consumed. And with promises of higher ratings, I'd have mesmerizing media fanning the flames. If I were the devil, I would encourage schools to refine young intellects, but neglect to discipline emotions. Just let those run wild. Until before you knew it, you'd have to have drug-sniffing dogs and metal detectors at every schoolhouse door. Within a decade, I'd have prisons overflowing. I'd have judges promoting pornography. Soon I could evict God from the courthouse, then from the schoolhouse, and then from the houses of Congress. And in his own churches, I would substitute psychology for religion and deify science. I would lure priests and pastors into misusing boys and girls and church money. If I were the devil, I'd make the symbol of Easter an egg and the symbol of Christmas a bubble. If I were the devil, I'd take from those who have and give to those who want it until I had killed the incentive of the ambitious. What'll you bet? I could get whole states to promote gambling as the way to get rich. I would caution against extremes in hard work, in patriotism, in moral conduct. I would convince the young that marriage is old-fashioned, that swinging is more fun, that what you see on TV is the way to be. And thus I could undress you in public, and I could lure you into bed with diseases for which there is no cure. In other words, if I were the devil, I'd just keep right on doing what he's doing.
Thank you, Scott. 50 years ago. Can you guys believe that? Does anybody else? Let's talk about how we're going to do this now. I will invite veterans to the stage first because we know the culture of the room. But when you are on stage, you will stay on stage. Once you are invited, you will stay on stage unless you become disruptive. This room is not about forcing my opinion down your throat, but it is about having intelligent, carefully thought through conversations. I realize that people need time to think about what they're going to say, and I don't want to be obnoxious, but I have found lately that Clubhouse is more like listening to the man on the street or having a discussion with the man on the street than radio or television. So if you're going to open your mic, please know what you're going to say. We will become a little bit snippy if you just bloviate forever and don't say anything, because that's I find that hard to listen to, and I suspect many of you do as well. So with all that said, Yossi, do you want to introduce yourself now?
Hi everyone, I'm Yossi. I'm here to help. I read your chats. That's all. Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Now, does anybody else want to sit down the stage right now, want to say anything? Okay. Now, Congressman, I'm going to invite you back.
The great one, as I call it out. The great one.
Okay. But please do recognize that this is a place for intellectual discussion. It is not a place necessarily to promote your candidacy. I don't know much about your candidacy. How about if I give you 30 seconds to tell us about your candidacy, and then let's stick to the subject.
Sure. I'm running in the 16th district against Darren LaHood. He's a vaccinologist. He's created $20 trillion in debt over the course of his 10 years, and I'm a fiscally prudent conservative Republican running against what I view to be big government and the destruction of our American future.
Thank you for being so concise. I appreciate that. Now, I am curious, do you think misinformation is a part of the problem in America today?
Yeah, and on Clownhouse and in the media, I have seen every single possible combination of propaganda, lies, and misinformation. And that's the nature of our First Amendment and the publishing industry. So it's a little bit like you have to have enlightenment to know that there's this giant word communication, marketing, business clickbait game happening, which is basically brainwashing, misinformation, disinformation. And I think that's what the war on information and institutions is. But really, we have this misinformation war that we're all living in, and you have to be hip to be square.
You said something about who you are by calling this medium Clownhouse, and I don't appreciate it. If you want to insult somebody, then don't ask for my vote. If you're going to just talk about how bad vaccines are, then don't ask for my vote, because that's dishonest. We have a measles epidemic because we have an idiot in the White House. Now, I'm not going to debate whether Trump is good or bad with you, but I will say that vaccines are real, and if you don't believe that, I would suggest that you go back to the audience, because you and I will not get along.
Well, I mean, it's one topic. I view it as being more political than anything else. I mean, it's your opinion that vaccines are safe and effective. I just don't think that they're safe and effective. I think COVID-19 was a giant psyop, and I'm concerned about what our government did to us. I'm concerned about Pfizer, Moderna, J&J. There's a lot of information on X that people outside of X have never viewed and digested. It's just my opinion, though.
It is just your opinion. I appreciate you acknowledging that. I also appreciate you recognizing that what's on X and what's in Clubhouse are not fact checked. And I think that you can express your opinion about the vaccines all day until you become a public official and have a platform that I'm paying for. Once you become the president of the United States, as Donald Trump was in the COVID vaccine,
Really going far.
and you start putting out garbage about putting bleach in your veins or taking ivermectin, I submit that you are an incompetent leader. Do you have a problem with that?
Listen, if you have Trump derangement syndrome, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
Trump derangement syndrome. I'm talking about facts, and you are proving that you are interested in the war on the facts because you're calling me somebody with Trump derangement syndrome, and you're calling this Clubhouse. Your whole method is to insult. You have not presented any interesting facts. If you have facts that the COVID vaccine, that the COVID epidemic wasn't real, I invite you to post them in the chat. In the meantime, I will leave you on stage, but you are on notice that any more of this kind of garbage, you will be removed. Thank you. Now, does anyone else have any thoughts?
Somebody's a little triggered.
Rick, welcome to the stage. What do you think about this topic?
I think it's definitely a topic worth discussing. I do believe in expertise. Whether it's somebody
She fucking crashed
to
out.
my house to do master carpentry
messaging.
or to fix a washing machine. I want the best. I want an elitist washing machine repairman to work on my washing machine. I don't want somebody who just says, well, I read about it on the internet. I want somebody with experience who knows what they're doing. And I want the same thing with vaccine, researchers. I want the same thing with weather experts. I want the same thing with a nuclear submarine captain. I want the best person available. And we don't always get the best person available. And people make mistakes. Even the experts make mistakes. The difference between a good expert and a bad expert is a good expert will recognize their mistakes, admit to them, and fix it. That's what science is.
Anti-Semitism,
Science
unwavering support for our Jewish students. We have a zero tolerance policy, and we will not.
And finding the best answer to what we know now, and then keep trying to disprove it. And I believe in science. I believe in expertise. I do believe in doing my own research, but not. I will not. I believe in doing my research so that I can ask the right questions. I think that may be what I was trying to say is do your own research to ask the right questions, but if I'm researching nuclear science because they're going to build a nuclear plant
Central
in
Texas
my
families
area,
are waking up to see that we've got a lot of.
I'm not going to take what I read on the internet as gospel. I'm going to try to go find somebody who's a nuclear physicist and engineer that really knows what they're talking about.
What is the number one thing
Try to
Jewish people are
figure
trying
out
to young age
using the internet to go, okay, what are the questions that I really need to know my area, or no, I don't want
So
this
how
in
do you
my
know if
area.
God wants you to have it or not have it?
You know, Rick, I appreciate that view, and one of the things that I admire
Are
about
you
Scott
focused
so
on
much, and one of the
Ukraine or
reasons,
just
in addition to his engineering skills, but one of the things I really admire about Scott is he's doing this atheism. He's putting a point back in fundamentalism. In other words, he's educated in religion. He's educated in philosophy. But he knows that he doesn't know it all. And he knows the difference between what is objectively true and what is subjectively true.
I thought you were going to say my good looks. That's my. I don't put a huge premium on it being a theological line to connect with people.
Which name were you from?
Yeah, I try to be
Danya, also known as Danya.
humble and
And
appropriate, and I like to keep a little light.
Well, and I think that's got value, but I also suspect that if someone came into your atheist room and spewed, in fact, I don't suspect it, I know it, because I've seen you do it, spewed information that was inconsistent with the conventional wisdom. For example, suppose they said Catholics don't believe in transubstantiation. It's kind of a stupid example, but I can't think of one in a hurry. You would push back on that, wouldn't you?
Oh, yeah. No, there's especially things about the Bible. I often find people say things about the Bible that are just so out of mainstream so out of line with just mainstream biblical scholarship, right? And not that we know everything about ancient history, but we know some things, right? I mean, there are facts and there are things that. So I mean, you do get people that come in and say just some insane things on the weekends, and yeah. I mean, I think I mean. Look, I think, especially today, right? I mean, there's a war in the church. There's a war. This is, the great book I've quoted for a few times. Harry Geisberg on bullshit. I mean, it's just the more this bullshit happens, the more it tears the social fabric, right? And Putnam and others have done this work on social trust, right? And social trust is is the glue that holds a society together, right? I mean, so if you have high levels of social trust, so many other things go well, and the bullshit and the sort of just voracious lying also it erodes the social trust, and that is the foundation of health system.
I couldn't agree more. That is actually why it's so useful. Take me a while to figure out why am I so fascinated by this. And I get very frustrated very quickly in a lot of clubhouse rooms when I don't have the tools in my hand, because a lot of times we're just yelling at each other. I can find agreement. I have found agreement with some very conservative people in Gary's room. Now there are areas where we don't agree, but I will find areas of agreement when I can, and I will celebrate those when I can. But if someone is going to just insult me and say, you have Trump arrangement syndrome, they actually aren't interested in dialogue. They're interested in a performance. Today I heard Donald Trump say, somebody asked him about Putin, and he said, well, I don't trust anybody. That's a problem. When you have a president, I don't give a damn whether you're a Democrat or a Republican, when you have a president who says, I don't trust anybody, that means he doesn't trust the American people. Look back on Ronald Reagan. One of the things, whether you agree with Ronald Reagan or not, one of the things that was clear about him is he trusted the American people. I can't think of another president in history who would go out and foster mistrust. And I think that's one of the reasons we're in such trouble as a nation right now. Yossi and I had quite a dialogue earlier today about freedom. And the interesting thing was that she was struggling with the difference between how our tax dollars are spent and what we're free to do. Now, I have been a benefactor of society's largesse, probably more than my fair share. I am disabled. Because I am disabled, I got fabulous special education. I learned to read and write. I learned to do all sorts of things for myself. Maybe society spent too much money on me, and I'm willing to acknowledge that possibility. But maybe the federal government has a place in dealing with abnormal situations like mine or like others, conservative or a liberal. I once had quite a dialogue with somebody who was going off about how bad Obamacare was. And so, this just, it was a bus route, bitching about Obamacare. So I said, so you don't think that you're able to pay? And he said, oh, well, it used to be that we had these public hospitals, and they were taking a loan. So I said, well, so what you believe is that someone who doesn't pay into the system should get it for free. And that's essentially what the people who don't want to pay their taxes are with respect to Obamacare. I mentioned earlier I was going to talk about lying, presidential lying. There are two things that Pete Obama said that people have called a lie. And I think it's worth discussing. One is your premium a tax? In a sense, I can make a point that the premium was the tax. Now, I don't think he lied in the same way that Donald Trump lied when he said, I didn't break it, or those 30 felonies weren't anything. This was a different angle on the truth. Your Obamacare premium is essentially funding people who you may choose not to be. One of the ways I used to illustrate this is that if you have a private pool and you invite somebody over, you want to pee in your own pool. Nobody's going to object. But if you go to a public pool and you pee in that pool, people are going to object. And I think at some profound level, people understood that when they talked about healthcare. So that was one thing that, you could call a lie, but I don't think it was the same kind of a lie as some of the January 6th was a love fest. It's not the same kind of a lie. You could also, he also said that if you like your doctor, you can keep it. Now, you can prove situations where that wasn't true. Obamacare is about cost containment, but if you were willing to pay the higher premium, the gold level, chances are you would have been able to keep your doctor. So I think comparing lies is useful. Marshall, I'd love to know what you think about some of this. You've been very quiet.
I am messing with my dog right now. Can you come back if you don't mind?
I don't mind. If you want to connect with your dog, that's perfectly fine. But keep him out of
Alan.
Ohio. Yes.
Alan, I did ask Grok, what's the estimate of annual fraud in Medicare and Medicaid? It says that the Healthcare Anti-Fraud Association estimates that fraud accounts for $100 billion annually across both programs, though this figure is considered conservative by some investigators. Additionally, for 2024, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, CMS, reported improper payments of $31.7 billion for Medicare fee-for-service, $20 billion for Medicare Part C, $3.58 billion for Medicare Part D, $31 billion for Medicaid, totaling $87 billion across CMS programs. So, I mean, those are the numbers about fraud in the system. I mean, isn't that a major concern to you?
Let me go back. You said you just asked Grok, right?
That's what
you
I said.
Asked Grok. That's where you got the data, right?
That's correct.
Who is behind Grok?
X platforms and X investors.
And specifically who?
Are you asking for me to say Elon Musk?
I am. Does he have an axe to grind?
Listen, it scrapes the data from basically Google search results.
Information, garbage in, garbage out.
Just Google it then. What does Google tell you about Medicare? You want me to do a cross comparison?
I'm not going to argue about whether there is or is not Medicare fraud. I believe there is Medicare fraud. I also believe that you are not using a fair measure and you're condemning a whole system. And if you believe that we shouldn't pay for people's Medicare, that's fine. If you want to go after fraud, then go after fraud. But don't tell me a guy who won't tell us what he paid for his taxes is interested in fraud. That guy did not pay his taxes, and why should I pay mine? At least I have no evidence that he paid his taxes. If he paid his taxes, then he would have been willing to share. So don't come up here and try to pretend that you're so smart when you're using a biased platform and you're admiring someone who believes in teaching people to say stupid things like meet the dishonest press. You're using the same techniques. If your objective is just to attack, then you don't belong in this room. And I don't think you belong in the Congress, frankly. And I'm not going to give you a penny of my money, and I hope the Republican Party doesn't, because you are just trying to use this as a manipulation. What do you think about
Trump telling us all about how he was going to bring out the Epstein files, and then he doesn't. I mean, we're having an irrational conversation. I'm getting irrational because you brought up something irrational.
That there's $100 billion of fraud that the taxpayers pay out every year and continue to draw us deeper into debt. I'm bringing up legitimate information and data.
Deeper into debt. How much money did Donald Trump increase the federal deficit by? Google it.
$2 trillion.
No, 12 trillion. And most of that was not because most of that was not because of COVID. Most of that was happened before COVID. And let me give you one more point. If you think that the federal deficit is going to be solved by the tax called tariffs, then you don't know anything about math.
Well, how do you propose that we eliminate this deficit and the national debt?
Well, that's not what this room is on. If you would like to come back forth to the room that we have on national deficit, I would be happy to do that. But you're pulling this way off subject. So I don't know how much you really want to participate and how much you just want to perform. You're welcome to stay if you want to come back.
You're the super mod. It's your room. I'm just here to give you my opinion like everybody else.
Okay.
Well, I want to say though, I think, so John, my friend here, I don't doubt the Medicaid fraud numbers, but the question is, where's the fraud, right? And I think this idea,
Here we go. We took them off topic.
Conservative media, which I consume because I like to listen to the last points of view, called Medicaid kings, right? And it's play off of the welfare queens in the Reagan era. And this idea is that that's where the Medicaid fraud is, and that's why we need the work requirements. I mean, that's not, you can't defer. What am I going to do? Oh man, I really pulled one over on the government. I got 4 knee replacements. It was awesome. You know, that's not where the fraud is, right? The fraud is on providers and people like on the other side of the ledger. It's not the recipients. It's provider fraud, right? I mean, that's right, and that's one thing that is not
that happened in the Rio Grande Valley like crazy. Like,
and that's not talked about in the big beautiful bill, right? That's not. No, it's interesting.
They address provider fraud, but the section is smaller than recipient fraud.
Yeah, because it's not, it's very interesting. It's just not, you don't get, it's well, first off, I think, it's part of the base, right? I mean, it's part of the donors and things like that. But yeah, no, I just think this is where currently this idea, and also in Arkansas, I forget what the other state is, there's 2 states that have done work requirements, and they don't work, right? I mean, they've done work requirements, and it doesn't, the participation in the labor force didn't go up, but the number of people on the coverage did go down. And then when they figured out it didn't work, they still kept them, which shows, I think, in some level, right, what's going on with those requirements, right? I mean, the mission accomplished, right? The desire was to fit the roles, and that's why it didn't matter that the program didn't work, right? Because I think the actual goal was achieved. So
yeah, and when we talk about fraud, if you take a look at the difference in fraud between Medicare and between private insurance. Now, Medicare now includes a ton of private insurance, but it's private insurers that provide, I think maybe 60% of all people on Medicare use Medicare Advantage, which is pretty much run by the private insurance system. So shouldn't the private insurance system be catching this fraud? It should be both of them, actually, if they're both doing it. But when they use different accounting methods, different methods of measuring fraud, but there's plenty of fraud going on in the totally private insurance markets.
And that's the problem, Rick. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah, and I think that we forget about that. When we say, well, private companies do everything much better than the government, until you look at what is the actual percentage of private businesses that fail within the first 3 years.
It's massive.
And the evidence.
And if you look
Yeah,
at
we
government,
need. Well,
It's military intelligence in the circumstance that we've been living in.
when you bring in
with the national.
an entity that is looking for profit, that's their main goal. Their goal is not service. That's a byproduct of their profit. And I live in Canada, as you all know, and we have socialized medicine here. For the most part, there is inroads in some quarters of this private partnership coming in. For example, the Ontario government right now is hiring nurses, private nurses, rather than putting those monies into the system itself, which it should be doing. They're spending, however hundreds of millions of dollars for these nurses, rather than putting that into the system to encourage and produce more nurses. But the private aspect of it, I think, is what's it's not going to work. It doesn't work in your medical field. And I looked some time ago into the United States as a whole puts in more money for their social programs than any other democracy, but they get the least return on those dollars. The least, because it's privatized. In many, many respects, it's privatized. And so again, it's the product isn't the service. The end goal is the profit.
At some point, though, we're paying $1 trillion in interest annually now on the debt. That's only going to keep expanding. Like, cuts and fiscal prudence have to come in. People are going to have to take cuts on their pensions even. I mean, if we're serious about, turning the tide and not going into a debt spiral, we really have to look at the numbers and be honest about what it is, what the return on investment is, and the cost benefits of what we're spending money on. Is $1 trillion a year enough for the military?
Bankrupt 7 times, knows exactly how to do that. Steve, I'd love to hear what you think.
Steve, you there? Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I was kind of in the middle of something. I've just got bits and pieces. Are we focusing on the deficit now?
No, Steve, we're focusing on the truth. The deficit has been a side angle that someone is trying to block and cause us not to talk about the real issue. The discussion is the war on the truth, and that partially deals with things like trying to attack educational institutions like Harvard. It deals with Donald Trump saying he doesn't trust anyone. It deals with those kinds of things. So if you want to think about it, I just wanted you to feel about it.
Yeah, I think I have a few thoughts about it. I mean, that's a knife that's cut in 2 ways, in my opinion, because, some of these educational institutions, I think, veered off a little bit from the mission that they should be on. And I think they brought a little bit of this on themselves. On the other hand, you got to be careful how you address this, because, you got to have your premier institutions. There's got to be a certain level of appreciation and respect for them to be functional and be critical to the education of the next generation. So I think it's a nuanced question. I think there's room for criticism both ways, Alan.
I love that, Steve. Do you mind if I continue this dialogue that you opened with Gary one time on a question that might be very relevant to the topic of the room, and that is sexual preference in education?
You mean as far as hiring practice or what?
No. I mean that you said in Gary's room about
not just to manage or to survive disasters, but to thrive in the face of climate, economic, and public health challenges.
I don't remember the paper, and this is why I wanted you to help some students who hadn't properly talked about heterosexual relations. I'd like to hear.
Well, and this is where this becomes really dicey, because this particular student, he came from a poor family. He got a lot of scholarships, and his scholarship was dependent upon a certain GPA average. And he was given an assignment, and the assignment was basically this: I want you to pick out, I forget the exact number, that's given a number of people that could be used to go to a planet and repopulate the planet. So obviously, if you're just going to do something like that, you want people that had medical knowledge, you want people that had engineering knowledge, and obviously, if you're going to repopulate, you'd have to have a certain ratio of men to women. But the professor, for whatever reason, other than, I don't know, lowered his grade because he didn't put a homosexual as part of the group. And the guy was in distress, and it was at odds with the objective of what the professor had asked him to do, but he was being punished because he didn't know a certain ideological line. And I ended up having to intervene for him because I knew people in the faculty at the college, and got to some people higher up that got it reversed. But he's in total distress for something that was just completely out of bounds as far as I was concerned, Alan.
Steve, that is great that you did that. Do you see a difference between that and claiming with absolutely no proof that schools were putting sandboxes in elementary schools because people were claiming to be cops?
It's putting sandboxes because kids were.
You heard this trope that some kid identified as a cat and therefore they had put a sandbox in the elementary school.
Yeah, if that happened, it'd be malfeasance on the part of the administration.
Absolutely, you said the magic word, Steve. If that happened, I love what you did in that situation. But to those of us who are concerned about truthfulness, it sounds to me like you did the right thing, and it sounds to me like that student, it was out of terms with the objective, and
right.
I would definitely not, if I were a professor, think that it was right to say that a kid had to put somebody who was gay on the planet to make it work. On the other,
right, because Alan, the thing you'd want a broad spectrum of knowledge, engineering skills, you'd want medical skills, you'd want people that had literary skills, things that create a functional society. And then you'd need to make this thought experiment work, then you'd need a certain ratio of men to women to repopulate, and it was so asinine as not to be believed. And like I say, what disturbed me the most about it was if he wasn't totally dependent on these scholarships for his education, he could have spurred it, but he was. And luckily, at the time, because I'd been forced out of a career and I was taking some college courses, and I was older and just happened to be down there. I think I was like 41 or 42. I actually was friends with some of the people that was in the faculty, so I was able to intervene for him.
What I love about this story, Steve, and what I love about this interaction I'm having with you right now is the first time I heard this story, I will confess to hearing it with a bias ear. Having part of it is because this is a smaller room and we can have the full dialogue, and part of it is because it is up to me whether to stay or not, which may have something to do with the way I think about it. Where it initially occurred, I heard the same thing as somebody saying, college turned my kid gay. And that is not what you said, right? I mean, we all have this problem of mishearing things. If you had
No, not at all. That isn't what and if I conveyed that, then I didn't articulate myself well or clearly enough to leave that impression out.
Steve, you do a terrific job given the circumstances of your life of being true to yourself, and I really admire that. Even when I disagree with you, I admire that fella.
Well, Alan, now here's one creed I tried to live by. And, I know I'm not everyone's particular cup of tea, and that's okay, because everybody's got to live in their own skin, and I'm fine with that. But I want when someone evaluates me to say there is a man without guile, because I don't want to have guile.
Yes, wonderful. Thank you.
You know, I was thinking about this one. Now, I don't know exactly what the assignment was, or exactly what the person wrote in their paper. If the only purpose was to repopulate the planet, and not to handle all of the other things on the planet, you know, that would be one thing. And in that case, you could almost send up a sperm bank with a whole bunch of women and save a whole lot of weight on the rocket ship, so that you could get more supplies and things on there. But you know, there's so many ways that paper could have been written, and if the professor failed somebody just because they didn't include a homosexual, but didn't give any reason for that failure, that would be a bad professor, I would think. But if they failed somebody for including a
And to help us
homosexual,
get started, it is my privilege to introduce a leader who truly understands the challenges that we face, because he lives them too, and is leading.
That's
76% of homeless nations.
thing without knowing the exact details
Really beyond
and the assignment. But
Rick, could I just intervene? And I don't mean to cut you off. Do you mind? If not, I'll go on.
go ahead.
He didn't fail the guy, but what he done, he lowered his grade where the student had to maintain a certain GPA. And the lowering of the grade, it was an absurdly high GPA that the kid had to maintain to keep his scholarships. But it was just enough to knock him out of his scholarship.
And that's something that.
Inside of here, we have some of the over the tops, which I'm sure you can guess why. They go over the top of your head instead of having arms that rest on your ears. I know there was a guy that actually wore these in the Olympics. One thing I was worried about is, like, what if you have a big head? How stretchy are they? So let's see. And they have a good amount of stretch. There are a bunch of lookalikes out there, but I think these look good. They have the Made in USA on the arm. These pads are soft and not hard, and the holes on the frame look like the ones I've seen online. Let's try them on. Oh man, they're made out of plastic, so they're really lightweight. I love the thinking out of the box on these. But would I wear them? Probably not. I'll offer more peace. Inside of here, we have some of the
based on merit, and you know.
My grandmother sick. I gotta get out of here. I'll talk to you later. I gotta go do something. What fucking money?
You have to take into
Fucking
consideration
take what I catch you, bitch. You can't say. Come here.
in a situation.
Get off the phone.
I gotta talk because I don't stop begging you to see me.
He owes me money. Give me the fucking back.
Come all over the fucking block.
My wife and I have a kind of a disagreement, and I think it would be interesting to hear what the people on stage think.
Not just to manage or to survive disasters, but to thrive in the face of climate.
It became abundantly clear that now all I can think of is Sandusky, but now I'm trying to think about it, and I did make a note on it. Does everybody remember when Joe Paterno was pushed down in the football coaching ranks for looking the other way when there was the abuse of a younger person? Does everybody remember that?
I remember it well because Joe Turner was always an idol of mine when I played football.
Yeah, mine too. And what I love about the point that Rick is making is that I can imagine, being from my generation, and Steve, you may feel the same way, that if the administration came in and says, you will not
make an evaluation on a football player based on sexual preference. You would have found that so vile that you would have said, I'm just going to look the other way on anything that deals with this because I don't understand it. It wouldn't have been a malicious thing you would have done. It just would have been saying, I don't understand this, and therefore I'm not going to participate in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so, Alan. I don't know if anyone else was going to comment. You know, there's one caveat that I think a lot of people don't know about that particular incident, and I think this is a case, especially, I don't know how many people here has ever had to manage an athletic team. I've coached 2 different sports. I was a 3-sport athlete. There's a culture in sports, and the culture is controlled a lot by the head coach and his imprint that he puts on the team. A team will reflect the head coach, and I think that in Paterno's case, he should have retired like 5 or 10 years before he did, because I think what Paterno was doing, he was being a figurehead in name only, and the team kind of just went off the rails, and he was just trying.
I'm talking about that place.
Very famous. I've eaten there a few times. I forgot the name. Something Mahal. Really good butter chicken. And they have even better ones in Delhi now.
Brought his way in. It was invented in the 1950s by Kundan Lal Gujral. Kundan Lal Gujral.
You still be on Twitter Space, Pepe?
What?
You still be using Twitter Space?
No.
It's kind of boring. Yeah, it is kind of boring. And then you can't really pack people up on there. You can, but like really, they need too much.
Amazing.
Yo, Mom, you should join Twitter Space.
No, this app is more than enough.
Now you pussy.
Thank you.
So, I just wanted to make a room about like what is an American, and so, my opinion of what an American is pretty specific.
What is your specific definition?
I think I'm the most American out of everybody here.
You have to be somebody that was you're a white American, or there's a few Hispanic people that have been here for, I don't know, a few hundred years.
Hispanic people have been on this country for thousands of years.
Well, I'm talking about in the United States. And then you have
The Spaniards have been here for thousands of years, Knuckles?
But Arizona used to be Mexico, so California. So
yeah, there's barely any Mexicans here.
and you're not Mexican. Stop it, nigga.
Blacks that were slaves, and then you have the Native Americans. But most of these people are, they're not like. I don't like that. I mean, I won't say I dislike him, but I think he's kind of the guy who tweeted that earlier. But I agree with that. Like, these are not Americans. Ilhan Omar is not a fucking American. Never will be an American.
I agree as in a Somali. Somalis, we are not Americans, bro. We have our own homeland.
Well, then go back to your homeland. Take it over from the terrorists that are running it.
Motherfuckers built like light bulbs. Yeah, can I chime in? Can I say what's an American? If that's okay. I want to chime in. Thank you. An American.
I don't think Pepe was actually finished business. Why don't you let Pepe finish?
No, I mean, I was doing others. Oh, the replays are on. That's right. I gotta take those off. It doesn't give you the option when you first open it from the hallway.
Yes, they do. If you go through the signals, it will tell you.
Is anybody going to mention business? I hope you're going to mention the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and maybe the Founding Fathers.
Brother, this is my opinion, and I will tell you what an American is. You could rebuttal after I'm finished, okay? So what an American is somebody with obesity, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancer, mental health disorder, drug addicts, especially opioid crisis, alcohol, sexually transmitted infection, STIs, high stress and burnout, insomnia, diet, hereditary tissue. I'm
not done. Gun violence. Oh no, Somalis have a smaller days. I swear to God. So you're gonna ride fucking boats all day. Nobody give a fuck about isolation.
Okay, hold on.
I'm not done. School shoot.
All right. We may have been on code yesterday regarding women, but now, there's only a few people that get to call themselves American. That is the whites. That is the black descendants of slaves, the Native American, the small group of Hispanic people that so happen to be living in New Mexico and Texas for hundreds of years. The rest of you are a bunch of, you're not Americans at all. Nobody's going to tell us what Americans are. We know what the fuck Americans are.
I'm telling you.
No. Wait. I feel that I'm the most American here because I just got here. Just like how the white man just got there in the 1800s. So yeah.
You're black.
Yeah, anybody who's squatting on somebody else's land is just an American. You're squatting. I'm squatting. So we're just Americans.
Drinking ass on somewhere else.
Businessman, is he Somali?
Yeah, he is.
Well,
anybody who came down the border from
Whoa. No, give me your loud mic.
But you guys do know that there is
I'm
a history of Somali pirates robbing and crucifying and taking over our Navy ships abroad in the Red Sea, over there in East Africa. We're just passing by and then they fucking take over Navy ships. It happened a lot back in the day. Are y'all not aware of that?
I'm very for sure.
They kill a lot of.
It doesn't help Trump to use the Epstein files to damage former presidents or even billionaires. I mean, he's got to use it for some type of leverage, and he's going to use it in the background. He's never going to make it public. If he wants Mark Benioff to go bend his butt cheeks so Peter Thiel can inject the hot, spicy sausage, that's exactly what Trump's going to do in the background. But he's not going to let you know what he's doing. The president, look at George Washington. He used spies. He used misinformation, disinformation, and secrecy to run the early government. So, the more Trump says, the more he's going to fuck it up. And that's my opinion.
I agree. And plus, it's a certain branch of this, you guys, that if it is, national security and it's ongoing investigations, money can't tip anybody off, right? I do agree with Alpha's post that the investigations are going. That's going to emerge.
If you want to know if something's going on or not, just check how many current sealed indictments we have throughout the country. Last I checked, there was, 500,000, that was within the past 4 or 5 months. Back in 2000, I want to say 2019, there were only 78,000 throughout the entire country. Just the United States alone. That's a lot of fucking sealed indictments. So what I'm saying is, we have to go through that for whatever they're doing in the background is going to affect that. So who knows what part of it we're going to see, because we are going to see some form of justice, to who, to how many of them, who knows, or who knows how they're going to roll it out. But somebody
also Q mentioned several times that the end of this will be for everyone. You know, in other words, and if you think about it, it's true. I bet if you go to everybody here on the panel and ask them, you know, what they want, what they expect, and what it's going to look like to get there, I mean, everyone's going to have a different path, a different perspective, a different view. And I would bet to a large point we probably all be right to a degree. So we're all going to speculate.
Well, you know what? They need to audit Bill Gates and maybe send his ass to jail for tax evasion and fraud. Maybe Mark Zuckerberg too.
All of us,
Most white Italians have the same features.
Yeah, they used to call
I'm sorry, but y'all have the same features as Italian white people.
All right, so I do want the blacks and the whites to cooperate with each other, and I'm putting a headshot on every single foreigner on the stage, or that is willing to come in here. So if any of you know of any Beaners or Caribbeans or Africans or any of these fucking pieces of shit, just go ahead and have them come in and speak their piece, and fuck them. I hope they get deported and they starve when they get back.
But how many Africans do you know say, "Oh, I'm cooking pasta"? Not many. Only Somalis.
She's probably the dumbest person I've met in my life.
No, I'm not dumb. I'm talking about my anecdotal experience. So you don't eat
Let's
pasta
not
with
focus on.
bananas?
There's many different types of dirty foreigner. Okay, we don't need to just focus on.
No, I'm asking him. So businessman, do you like pasta?
No, I don't like
Businessman, do
pasta.
you like
No,
pasta?
I don't. I like rice and chicken and banana. That's what I like.
I know, and you put bananas in your pasta.
Is that
Y'all the only people that put bananas in Alfredo. That shit is disgusting.
Yeah, okay.
Man,
Let's
your
stop
piece.
focusing on this
Who
Somali.
puts bananas in their pasta?
Hopefully, Donald Trump ends up, cleaning out all of the Minneapolis, St. Paul area and all of those five-headed, nappy-headed, people.
We're not
sent right back to Somalia.
Yes, we do have big foreheads.
Have you ever been to the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota, Pepe?
No.
I have.
And what do you see when you go to the Mall of America in Bloomington, Minnesota?
I mean, of course, we already know it's a highly Somali and already some Ethiopian, East African, period, population in Minnesota.
Yes, I know.
What's the lady name? Irmi Alhar, whatever her name is. It's a regular
So
yeah,
if she committed fraud,
the biggest refugee state for Ethiopians and Somalis.
if she committed immigration fraud when she married her brother so he could get citizenship, why can't the FBI go in there and arrest her right now?
What are you gonna do about it? You guys are fucking retards if you allowed it. Yeah, we all do that. I fucking married my sister so I could bring her back over here.
Well, that's why we need to deport. That's why we need to deport all of these people.
All the time. It's like actually well-known thing in Somali culture. We literally bring all our family. We go back home. We do a fake marriage. We take a couple pictures. These are fucking sisters and brothers, and then we fly them back to fucking Canada or America. We do this all the fucking time. And Han Omar did the same shit. Who gives a fuck? Do something.
And that's exactly why ICE is sweeping up the streets the way they're doing it now. Exactly. No fucking mercy. No fucking mercy, bro. Keep talking. Keep fucking talking.
That's why we don't like you motherfuckers over here.
No, I don't know.
You motherfuckers a chance. You see what they do with the inch? You see the inch you give these motherfuckers to come over here?
You heard it straight from the horse's mouth.
Hold on.
And then when I'm fucking
tasting a banana Alfredo sauce. A banana Alfredo sauce. Anybody would be interested in trying that?
If you guys want me to
And they don't even have
banana Alfredo.
I can even tell you another hack we do.
That's what they do.
Somali family has
Somalis
hundreds
do
of
that.
thousands of dollars just chilling in their home. We know how to scam the system. You guys are fucking retards. That's why you guys are all broke. We act broke, but we have money in our house.
What? Are you fucking kidding me?
And listen, sweetheart, America is
You
slow.
fucking kidding me? I
It's not stupid.
There's something American man
Acting up to the game that's being played by all y'all
scamming ass bastard.
Someone said
You have women on the stage right now that is very successful, that I have spoken to personally.
Somebody said
Very successful.
Me
You
and
are
your
a
cousin
fucking
is
asshole.
Hey, when are y'all gonna release the Epstein file?
Hopefully they get released soon.
Yeah, because is your boy Trump in it?
I don't know. Why don't you go back to Nigeria, Holmes?
How the fuck you know I'm from Nigeria? How the fuck you know I'm from Nigeria?
Because it says so on your profile.
No PB.
Man, you've been on this app for years. We know who the fuck you are. Stop it.
Oh, okay.
They all must go home, every single one of them. The American dream was not for a bunch of third worlders to come over here and say, "Oh, I'm just as American as you." No, you're not. You scape, motherfuckers. You guys are not related. You're not of the lineage.
PP, what about the folks?
Blood and soil.
Why did they allow us to come here?
What about the folks that we stole 400 years ago? Are you gonna send them back?
No, I said they're already American.
They are? Really?
Yep.
Slaves? Wow.
Yep. You guys are jealous.
Jealous that my ancestors were slaves?
In fact, I hope that hopefully there'll be a huge, massive, operation where they, young men are encouraged to join the military and help assist in the facilitation of removing people. And a lot of them will be black, young, patriotic Americans, and they will remove all of you filthy people. All of you need to go home.
Aren't you Mexican? Aren't you?
No.
So why does your profile look like you?
So I'm an octoroon. I'm the quarter black.
And how are they gonna kick us out? Please explain.
With handcuffs and put you on a plane while you're shackled.
Yeah.
How many guns does
Have you heard of bounty hunters? Have you heard of capitalism? Trump might issue licenses for bounty hunters.
No, but we collect guns. A lot of Somalis collect guns in our community.
Well, then you better be a good shot.
That would be fun.
What happened during Black Hawk Down? Black Hawk Down. Skinny's in the tree. 3 o'clock. They were shooting them all over the fucking place. It was like 30 to 1.
Did you not watch the video of us dragging Americans in the street? I was there.
Yeah, after they killed like several hundred of them.
Fucking celebrating. We fucking did it.
What? Yeah, but they were literally. It was like a 1 on 30. That was the casualty rate.
Celebrating, fucking cowards, bro. It was not even the Somali army. It was a bunch of fucking tribes from the fucking neighborhood. It was not even a fucking army. You were fucking fighting the village.
Yep, they got killed.
You were fighting the village and they ran away.
You don't know. You don't know anything.
Okay, we've had enough foreign subversion on the stage. Let's stop. Let's enough business. Go ahead and mute up.
We lost some, and we came out and raped the fuck out of you motherfuckers.
Bro, you were fighting civilians and you guys ran away the next day.
Those that had AK-47.
We were
Okay.
Yeah,
we were done.
they were actually
We gave you mercy.
not the military. I was actually not the Somali.
Business, I'm reporting you this conversation and sending this recording to the Minneapolis FBI and ICE and DOJ. I'm going to have you deported by Friday. Pack your bags and get ready.
I've killed Somalis myself, bro. Americans.
Okay, nice.
Okay, great. FBI, I hope you just heard that. His name is Business. The profile ID is business.way. Okay, you'll be there Friday at 8 a.m. to kick the door and take him away?
So,
Great.
let's get back to it. So what do they say are the positives about diversity and immigrants? You get more, I don't know, let's say Ethiopian food. You get where those fucking faggots don't even use utensils. They eat with their fucking hands. It was fucking disgusting. I had to go there, and even to that, I tried it once. It was gross. Then diverse restaurants, so you can see a bunch of ugly foreigners. Like, what have we accomplished by having like really shitty Asian drivers? What do they do? What do Asians even create? They're good little.
Which do you think is rude? Are you staring at my face and telling me your ass out of the way? You're staring at my face, fucking customers. Not fat vanilla mocha for Elaine.
I mean, there's just nothing good.
I apologize.
We need to save the American people from these filthy foreigners.
And you treat your colonies.
I do. Oh my God.
You dirty
I haven't seen a case since medical
You guys
school.
are just.
You've got a lot of technical advances.
The Arabs that live next to you start
Interested.
you fucking
Come in for a consult.
Indians, don't get me
I
started.
think I could help you. Cheek implants are made of bone grafted
Every
from
single
the
one of
back of
you
your
sucks my
skull.
fucking dick.
Sounds worse than
You
it
get
is.
stomach cancer and AIDS,
Fix the
and
drip
you get
here
deported, then you
by
fucking
adding
die
fatty
from it
deposits
once you
for
get
greater
deported.
support.
Why are all the white
And
on
reposition the angle of your jaw, which should have a positive effect on your breathing, eating, speaking.
I'm a French kissy.
It's a myth. Enough
You had you this time when you were younger.
of the
My
subversion.
dad was a janitor. My house covered sucked.
God,
When I was born, I had so many medical problems.
Why are you kicking him out? Like the only,
I guess it was just something
the
I
only
had to
African,
live with, you know.
one of the only African voices in the state.
You're right.
You're about to be next. Well, no, why are you doing that?
Let's talk about you. Are you Igbo or are you Yoruba?
Oh, so the white people actually knows what Igbo and Yoruba is.
Which kind of dirty Nigerian are you?
The ones about to take your girl. Igbo is Igbo.
And you guys are the master race of the Nigerians, I hear.
There's no master race.
Gotta send you guys back. Go ahead and be master race back there. Good
Why
luck.
don't you bring business back up? You scared of it?
No, you just like over talking too much. We're trying to make this American
He's
centric.
making a lot of sense, though.
No.
Yeah, bring it back up.
Really? He's admitting to fraud. He's admitted that he's murdered Americans. He's making sense?
I want them to start deporting the Nigerians as fast as they're deporting the Mexicans.
You
Amen, brother.
jealous of Nigerians?
No, I just want you to go home so you can take your smart asses back and fix up your shitty countries.
You jealous?
And they're scammers. We have to wake up the Jew.
You jealous because your women love us?
Brother, not only that, these Nigerians were never slaves. Your ancestors were fucking cowards. You guys fucking picked Kitover, fucking like and your woman were raped by a white man.
Hold on, business. You keep on coming off mic, and then other people.
Hold on, you're cutting me off, dirty African. The fact that you were never slaves in your country, you still have to be refugees. That's fucking diabolical. There's not a country in Africa that I would want to go to. The Nigerian Delta, the 1% of Nigerian. Oh, let me finish. I'm gonna wrap up my place. The 1% of Nigerian. Shut up, David.
Hey, you filthy fucking Arab! Shut the fuck up and let him finish.
So 1% of those Africans in Nigeria get the money, and they're poisoning the water in the Nigerian Delta. The people, and then they want Americans to come and build the wells. Fuck dirty Nigeria. Deport them fast. They're worse than the Mexicans.
Yeah, he just might be sold you for leather bags. He just must take you out.
Water over there. What the fuck are you talking about?
Brother, you guys were only good for one thing.
Why did Black Hawk Down happen? It's because literally you had one rebel leader, and he hold on. Let me finish. Dude, this is why you got moved down. You had this militia leader who ended up seizing, UN food aid, like rice bags, and it was about to start a civil war. I mean, that's how desperate your people are. You guys literally die of common diseases and starvation.
No, you're actually wrong. There was already a civil war, and they killed like over 500,000 Somalis, and he didn't want the U.S. to give any food to the other tribe because he was trying to genocide them, and that's why the fucking Americans came in, allegedly, but then they wanted to take over fucking Mogadishu and get rid of that fucking rebel, and fucking try to take over Somalia, and they understood that, and they fucking murdered those motherfuckers. Let us fight amongst each other. Why the fuck do you want to get involved?
I agree. You should have let them kill each other.
Yeah, let us kill each other. Mind your fucking business.
All right, hold on. We have another foreign-born spick from the the Dominican Republic on the stage. What the fuck do you have to say, mother? Your ass should get deported ASAP.
Hey, I'm a water stick, and also my family's wealthy, so you can send me back home. I don't care.
Good, get the fuck out.
We have several homes we have to go live in. I'll be okay.
Fucking faggot. But anyways, besides the point, this how it goes. Mega assume, you know that, all that, you feel me? So therefore, if we go into a war, Trump will be president until the trumpet blows, until the world ends. So who wanna do that? Because I'm a Trump Republican. Like, literally, who will get another presidency if Trump declares to go in war like the one president did, and he did it for, 3 elections, and it was a whole war. The World War I, World War II, he was dead. So how about that? And second, this is how it goes. First off, eradication of all homosexuality, because Michelle Obama forced her husband, my uncle, right, to fucking do, what was it? Gay marriage. That's what caused the evil eye to come into America. Second, anyways, besides the point, anybody want to debate anything. We could debate agriculture, we could debate religion.
No, I'm already getting tired of you stupid fucking Arab.
Listen, you mad.
You go ahead and shut your filthy muzzle. Put a muzzle on your fucking. God damn.
All you do we should blow all that shit up. I agree with it.
Fuck all you people. No, what we should do is fucking literally bomb their fucking country so they come back to a glass parking lot where the sun radiates off of it and cooks these dirty Arabs.
Don't forget, they're passing legislation to make sure that these people aren't counted in the census, so we can redistrict, get more Republicans, and stop them from voting. If they don't have IDs and they're illegal or they're here illegally and voting, they're going to be arrested and deported immediately.
Illegals can't vote already.
Oh, really? They can't vote already? Sure, go to California where you don't even need a driver's license to vote. Go to Illinois where you don't need a driver's license to vote. It's called provisional ballots.
We have somebody talking over other people, and then we have this inbred Arab that's talking.
New York State.
No, shut your filthy fucking Arab mouth. You son of a fucking filthy sharmuta. Shut the fuck up. Bitch.
What is a sharmuta? What is that?
The whore.
Hey, be nice to our Arab friends. They don't come in here often.
No, we want them out of our fucking country, just like you, Beaner. Stop.
So, I agree with not having Arabs in the country, but at least be nice to them here, you know? Don't be rude. You gotta be rude, Pepe. Where's your home training, your white training?
What in the fuck?
No, I'm trying to convince. I think whites and blacks should go ballistic and just mass deportations. Mass deportations is all I'm asking for. Like in that picture above, not American. Vivek Ramaswamy. There's nothing American about that stupid fucker. I mean, look at the guy. He's fucking weird. He's gross.
It was so funny though when he finally realized that the Republican base is significantly racist, and then they turned on him, and I was like, dude, are you dumb? Man.
Fuck that Pidgey. Oh, now we got a goddamn Haitian on the stage. Haitians, they gotta go ASAP. ASAP. All of you guys are getting rounded up. All of them. Shut up, Arab.
So, you know what a real American is, Pepe? A real American is a Christian, a religious, a man of God. You are not a real American, you know? You are a fake American. You have no Christianity in your soul.
All of them. You destroyed all of them. Constantine, Genghis Khan, Alexander the Great. You destroyed all of them. Those are your successors, and you know we had help with. We had help.
Okay, Arab, we don't
George
care.
Washington. That's
literally don't care.
So I will say that we need to go back to our Christian roots in this country. Nobody on this stage, except for me, actually goes to church on a regular basis. Y'all are demonic entities, and you need prayer and Jesus in your life.
You're trying to convert us.
You're projecting, mother.
You're trying to convert us to third world Beaner nationalism, like Catholic nationalism. That's Beaner shit.
You're projecting, mother. You are claiming that this room is what you are.
You're not a real American, or you would know that this was a Christian nation, Pepe.
Yeah, Christian. Well, it was actually Protestant, to be fair.
Okay, you're a trans activist. You're a liberal Democrat. You're a socialist. You're a Marxist. You're a communist. Mother, go fuck yourself. You're a fraud and a projectionist. You're full of shit.
need Jesus in your life.
You need Jesus in your life. You go around dressed up as a woman.
Okay, that's enough.
See, here's a funny thing, right? Like, we have, like, the Republican Party itself has lost its roots.
Protestant. Let him finish. Let Mother finish.
Why are you hiding behind do not act like they follow the footsteps of Christ. They don't live the moral values of the Bible. They act significantly like hypocrites on that matter with regards to how they treat other people. Why are you hiding behind and walk on a moral high ground as if they are superior to other people. You people need to go back to your basics, start with religion and God, and find yourselves because you are being a faggot. You're lost.
You're giving yourself advice you need to follow, mother.
Country up until 1965, very first in 1790. Okay, you stupid goddamn muzzy. You need to go to the audience because you're a very poorly trained, inbred fucking piece of shit. Now, with that being said, 1790 first immigration law, you could only come here from free white man of good moral character. There was a time where these sneaky little chinks tried to come in, they built railroads and stuff, and then we had the Chinese Exclusion Act. But once again, it wasn't until 1965 when we're in almost 90% white country that, that changed. And so we need all of you dirty immigrants out. The blacks don't want you, the whites don't want you, nobody wants you. You guys are just hated. And that's a good thing. We send you guys home. You guys will never be American.
That's fine. But your women want that. Nobody's concerned.
Wait, is that a thing? Like American women wanting Nigerians? I've never heard of that.
Go ask around.
Oh,
bro.
Sounds made up.
Oh, go ask around. And if you talk too much, you're going to take your woman.
So, I want to ask the black women if they prefer Nigerian men over American black men.
Everybody trying to fuck you, motherfuckers, man. The fuck is wrong with you? You're crazy as hell.
That's the Pepe. Who are you talking to, Ken?
I'm talking to the Nigerian. Black women are not trying to fuck Nigerians. Stop it. That's
and they also,
bullshit.
according to the app, they also hate black American men. So.
But we can fuck them all day. Yo, motherfuckers can't fuck them. Unless you're paying. Because we know black women have called you motherfuckers out as simps. Y'all have to pay for pussy. Like American men don't have to pay for it.
Because they don't got no jobs. How is this supposed to pay?
So guess what? If you have to pay, you should look at yourself sideways. You're paying for some mediocre pussy.
I'm not paying for pussy. It's not a problem.
Mother is a post-op trans. I mean, mother, go fuck yourself. Take your hypocrisy, your lies, and your projection and shove them up your twinker little ass.
You said my twinky little ass? Is that what you said? That was really gay. I don't know where you came up with that shit, but that was like faggot level 7,000.
You're Nigerian, you paying for pussy. Is something wrong with you, sir? And the same way, if you're paying for black American women for some pussy, your game is weak as hell.
You come in here and accuse people of not being Christians. Go look in the mirror, you fucking fraud loser.
You're not a Christian.
What is fufu, by the way? Why do black Americans always tell these people to eat fufu?
Hold on. Right, so I mentioned that a couple minutes ago, and you're still simmering on it because you know I'm right. You know you don't go to church. You know you're not.
No, I'm calling you out for being a hypocrite, a liar, a fraud, a misinformationist, a hypocrite. You're probably trans, and you're coming in here telling people to be more Christian.
Go to a church for once in your life.
Okay, Father, I'm a Christian, and I'm a pastor as well. Go ahead.
In this country, it's not sexy, guys. America's not.
You're a foreigner too, so you'd get kicked the fuck out. Fuck off, George.
Wait,
so Mother, I'm a Christian, I'm black. So what do you have to say? Would you like to talk about the scripture?
That's good. I'm happy about that.
Okay, so you can shut the fuck up now.
I mean, I was on mute. I don't know what y'all are jumping on me.
No, because you're trying to challenge me through a scripture. You don't know who the fuck you're talking to. And I do this shit every single Friday night, Saturday night, under bridges, trying to bring our brothers and sisters together who's homeless.
Christians don't talk like this, Kay. You know.
Oh, no.
That's bullshit. I'm Christian.
I'm a straight preacher. The fuck you talking about?
I'm Christian, and you know, despite what my beaner priest would maybe tell me, you know, I'm still going to kick all you fuckers out.
Jesus wouldn't do that.
Excuse me? When Jesus went into the temple and flipped over the tables,
I would say, hey, Zeus, you need to go back to the Middle East.
You don't know anything about Christianity. Because he went straight into the temple and said, get the hell out, and flipped over the tables. Peter cut off a guy's ear, following Christ. Oh, it's not always going to be this nice talk.
I just want to say a prayer, everybody, as a nice Catholic boy. Dear Lord Jesus, I pray that all of the spicks, chinks, African booty scratchers, Muslims, Indians, all of these people get deported and you know, very quickly, and that I really don't care about what happens to them afterwards. Thank you.
We throw in overweight people in that group.
Fuck you, you're going back
So don't talk to me about Christianity if you don't know anything.
I mean, we're gonna get rid of most of America if we throw in fat people. So I guess they have to stay.
No, probably get rid of your fat ass.
Mother, if you were made president of the United States of America, what would you do for we the people?
I don't know. I gotta think about it.
Oh, look at the reckless abandon with which I live my life.
George, you think you're one of us, but you're not.
I'll rule over you.
No, you won't.
The highest justice.
No, you won't.
The highest justice.
You're a filthy Greek Armenian mutt. That's all you are.
I'm the best.
Yeah, but you weren't born here, so get the fuck out.
My rule. Just accept my rule and only peace, and we'll just have sperm donors.
Does George get to stay?
So I gotta say,
does George, since he's Greek and Armenian, does he get to stay or should he get booted?
Today is just not doing it. We gotta get more messy in here.
that's on you. That's on you.
Where are the usual?
You mean to come in here? You're gonna come in here and tell us we're not Christians, and now you want to tell us that we got to get messy to satisfy your lust and your desires?
Come up here. He's going back too.
Fuck it.
All of the Haitians are going back, just like we spoke to them.
Respect for the teacher.
Shut up, George. You're leaving too.
Leave Alonzo alone, all right? Leave that man alone.
No, we can have civil conversations, but we need to talk about reality.
Why should we leave Lonzo alone? He's a Jew-hating, American-hating, pubic-face-looking psychopath who just creates Jew-hate rooms all day long on this app.
I like Lonzo. Lonzo cool, man.
Lonzo and I get along, but I get along with YB, but we have to be straightforward here. We can't sugarcoat things. The FBAs and the whites are cheating up. They want everybody out.
Lonzo's afraid to bring his hate up on the stage. Come on, Lonzo, bring all your hate speech up to the stage so we can see how ignorant you are.
Pepe, am I getting deported too?
Yep.
No.
No, fuck that shit. She's from Asia. She has to go.
Who's gonna be left on this app?
Yeah,
I don't even know. Because this city Pepe and I. I'm from America, but I guess I'm getting bored. You can come over to my place. Yeah.
I guess I'm that motherfucking nigga that everybody get along with. I guess I'm stuck.
Not the quadroon. You say quadroon? Jesus.
You probably shouldn't say that.
And I'm a nigga that don't even have a big. In the bitch.
Yeah, I'll give KP.
So, comedy, do you think, Pepe, do you think this is a comedy room or a patriotic room?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Master.
It's patriotic.
Thank you, Master.
Pepe, what do you think the difference is between a patriot and a racial identity politician?
Oh, because I'm willing to kick out, because I won't do things like based on race when it comes to kicking people out, which is be if you're a foreigner.
I just want to say one thing: save the big booty Latino. Hey, let's go, baby.
He's Latino.
I agree with you. Latinos, you're a faggot. Something wrong with you.
You said save the big booty Latinos.
He said Latinos.
That's
what gay. What the fuck? He's gay.
Pepe,
Latinos, we will keep all day.
Pepe, do you think white structural systemic racism and climate change are the same scam?
Yeah, probably. I mean, we've had like we're systemically white supremacists. I mean, fuck, why? No matter what you say, it's like, oh, you benefit from structural white supremacy. Fine, let's just actually have like some real white systemic supremacy. That sounds fucking amazing to me.
Well, the mayor of Chicago just held a press conference claiming that in 1995, hundreds of Chicagoans died because of systemic white racism and climate change.
Amazing. Well, I think we should. What you need to do is put them back in their place, make them humble.
Humility is a virtue.
In the galleys of a ship, just a mechanical ship without an engine, and they're packed like sardines, and they finally just get dumped off in Africa. I mean, and of course they don't have EBT cards to put into these fancy machines. They didn't create themselves in Africa. There's no real supermarkets. They just have, I don't know, AIDS and gorillas, whatever the fuck it is in Angola. They can just, they can survive on their own, I guess. I don't know. Not my fucking problem. We should show them, like, real white supremacy. I'm sick of being accused of it.
Do you know what the punishments are in the top 10 countries, for immigration and illegal alien presence? Like in India, Russia, it's like 10 years, 2 years. I mean, if you enter countries illegally, it's automatic prison sentences with minimum 2 to 10 years.
We should get, like, real free labor from these people. In prison.
Well, prison labor is a multi-billion-dollar industry in this corporation known as America.
I don't know what happened to our ambition. Like, we get these worthless people in, like, the UAE, Kuwait, Oman. Like, why don't we just, like, invade those worthless faggots and make them fucking do hard labor? Like, they were born on land that has oil, but they don't even fucking manufacture or innovate anything. Like, do you know how much wealthier we would fucking be as a country? Like, we literally, I believe in conquest, especially the Gulf Arab states. There's no reason they should have them.
Well, we're Americans. We don't believe in monarchies and tyrant kings.
Yeah. Something changing the name of the Gulf of America.
You know that no kings protest that these Democrat pussies love to keep bringing up? Well, the propaganda that they sprayed all over the park in my neighborhood with all their fucking lies and propaganda and misinformation, it was so artistic and so shockingly brainwashed that these loser Democrat pussy parents brainwashed their children to be anti-American American haters.
That would be so cool if, like, there was, like, a billionaire or somebody with money. They paid, like, all of the little badass teenage boys in South Chicago, like, armed them with, like, sticks and bats and told them, guys, you guys all get to have, like, $200 for the night. Just, you see all of those, like, those whiny white people? Yeah, just beat them up really bad. You can rob them, too. That's fine. Just put a beat down on them. I think that'd be fucking amazing.
It's all politics all the time. Every single day, every way, the news cycle. It's all anti-Trump. It's all anti-American. And Trump, this second presidency around, this is like a defining historical moment in American history.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, ICE got $150 billion.
That want to come up? I'd love to hear from you guys and tell you why you guys are worthless. And you can go
If you're a patriotic American and you're able-bodied, you should consider applying to ICE today and being a part of the solution and removing tens of millions of people who aren't supposed to be here.
You know what's funny is that almost all of ICE and Border Patrol are like Mexicans.
Yeah, and you know what? They don't like the
rounding up their compatriots.
a lot of those Mexicans that work for Border Patrol are very patriotic, and they are fighting against narco terrorists, murderers, rapists, killers that are here illegally, and these people are American heroes.
We just got to find a solution too about the Jews in the media. There's a little too much liberalism going on. We can't allow, them to take over again.
You think Rachel Maddow is a Jew?
She probably has a Jew. What do you call it? Producer.
You think Rosie O'Donnell is a Jew? You think Ellen DeGeneres is a Jew? You think Obama is a Jew? You think Mark Cuban is a Jew?
Mark Cuban's a Jew, isn't he?
The point is, if you think Jews are behind all the propaganda and misinformation, you're sorely mistaken. It's the Democrats.
No, it's not propaganda. It's just left-wing faggotry.
Yeah, well, welcome to the Democrat Party, which has plunged our country into chaos, into a debt spiral.
Walter and Schultz.
Yeah, Shifty Schiff, a mortgage fraud expert. Letitia James, a Morgan fraud. Stacey Abrams, another scam artist, stealing billions before Biden got out of office. And we demand arrests. We want arrests now.
Family is the same family of Hitler. Hitler and Schiffs are related, if you know anything. Jesuits.
Wait, you think Hitler was a Jesuit?
Absolutely he was. He's an Ashkenazi Jesuit.
Hitler was an Ashkenazi Jewish Jesuit?
Absolutely. His mother will fuck them place away.
The liquor store don't open till 10.
He didn't know his father.
Who, Hitler?
His father was fuck. You know where Hitler's mother came from? She was a homemaker. She was a maid.
You claiming she was an Ashkenazi Jewish Jesuit?
Hitler only had one testicle because the greedy Jewish doctor ended up cutting one of his nuts off too, in addition to the force here.
You think a Jewish doctor castrated and made Hitler into half a eunuch?
That's
why he's so mad. That's why he was so angry at you guys.
Well, why didn't a Jewish doctor do a lobotomy?
His mother was a maid, okay, and fucked her at 16, 15, or some shit like that, and never claimed her because she was unmarried. The father was married, and they said, "You gotta get the fuck out of here."
Is this a projection? Or is this real World War II history?
Hold on, everybody shut the fuck up. This bitch looks foreign, so I want to talk to her. Where are you from? Yeah, where are you from?
I'm an American, so that's
Where's your ancestors from?
America.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
That face has Caribbean written all over it.
No, I'm from America.
Bullshit, I don't believe it.
Well, it's not for you to believe, Tom.
Stand your ground, Medella. Don't let this racist Dr. Peepee insult you.
I don't understand why you don't want to tap into your Jewish side there, Congressman.
Well, hold on. I'm not talking about. I know. I'm just trying to piss him off with Jew comments, but hold on. I have my eye on another prize right now.
Manson is wrong. Actually, before this guy goes into the talk on my own. The question of this show is called "What is in America?" So
yes.
I think it is wrong to say that what is definition of America.
Oh yes, it's simple. You're a white person. You're African descent, slave, Native American, and there's like a small, maybe 1% of the Hispanic population who can say they're American. So Puerto
He's
Rico
got
was
his eye
captured,
on
or
another prize.
they lived in Texas or New Mexico or some shit like
Okay,
100 years ago.
And who told you this?
It's
Or is this some shit you just came up with?
no, this is largely what Americans have always been.
This is like logic to you?
Yeah, it's logic. Well, tell me, what do you think an American is?
To me, I think an American doesn't exist. There's no such thing as an American.
So anybody can be an American.
No, I feel like it doesn't exist at all. I just feel like since we have the place.
Then why did you call yourself American?
Because that's what I have.
I asked you your ethnicity and you said American.
Yeah, but I feel like it doesn't exist. But I'm obviously black. But I'm an American. But it doesn't exist. If we break it down and really go back to 1776 with your founding fathers and stuff. So before that, was it called America?
Well, America is the creation. So.
But who created this shit? God
the people who came here.
It's called the Founding Fathers, Medella. Maybe you've heard of the Revolution?
How did they make it if they came?
Oh, sure, because like back when, before Europeans came here, there was literally like there's Native Americans and stuff, but then you ended up having, you had whites who came here, then you had black slaves, and the whites ended up forming, I don't know, first they were colonies, then they revolted, then they put together, the name of our country, the United States of America. We have a constitution, and I would say, like, that's literally a man-made creation, is the United States of America. Yes, it is.
Man walked on creation.
No, we created it on top of the land.
They walked on it.
America didn't exist. It didn't exist before. There was no constitution. You didn't have the states of Alabama or Ohio. Like literally, that was created by men.
They just gave a name. They just colonized it like they did the whole.
Oh, colonized it. Amazing.
Yeah.
So do people come here for the land, or do people come here for the opportunity? What do they come here for?
They came here because where they were nobody. So they needed.
Well, why did they come here today? Do they come here for the land? Do people come to America for the land, or do they come here for the system? Basically, the opportunities, the safety, the standard of living.
Let's ask why
did you say X?
Before he became America, why did those people come here? Let's not ask about
what they should ask again. Why did they come here? Because most of them, the original people who came here were pioneers. They came here to try to either have a new start. Some of them were, looking for new riches in the new world. There was a bunch of, they're largely considered pioneers for that reason.
So they came here for opportunity. So if they came here for riches in the new world, that means they didn't make shit. They came here for what was already here.
No, you have to mine and farm the land. Like we were talking about.
I'm not going to lie, for the comment section, it's 2025, the nigger shit, it doesn't work. Because at the end of the day,
we freed the Negroes.
We freed ourselves. We beat the fuck out y'all until y'all didn't get enough.
Who beat you? Who beat
We
you?
taught you how to bathe.
Who taught you?
We taught you how to eat. We taught you how to walk in this life. This is for the color of my skin.
Your ass is speaking right now French or Spanish.
You guys died for dying of diseases.
The English said
dog by the face in order to trim its coat. That's the
black people. Now, what you have to understand is the whole thing about teach y'all how to bathe. It's not. So you had people from the Near East and North Africa.
Fresno killer learned his sentence Thursday,
which is like the
putting
first.
an
They said, wow, hold on.
No, I won't.
No, yeah, you have to, because those were the people. No, it was around that. No, it was before that time that quote unquote white people were taught how to bathe. And they weren't black people, by the way. They were literally fucking more racially related to white people.
But you're an ancestor of a European. That's what's wrong.
So what?
You're not American. You're European.
No, I'm an American.
No, you're European.
We're gonna get on to
your last name, Roy? Thank you. Yep. Okay. What's your license number?
8 times 7.
56.
I'm also under the advice of my attorney.
What year?
Yo,
Can you read what?
hold on one second. Yo, can
Would
you?
you like my answer to the grade one?
Yeah, isn't Marshall such a little and obnoxious little vermin frog?
Why does everybody care that you record? It's just that you record. So, fuck it. First off, it might actually get some people to show up in a fucking room. Eventually.
I don't know. I mean, at least I'm doing work for people. Like, maybe they don't want to be recorded, but I mean, some people are actually ambitious and are not just like, picking their nose talking about their little brother all the time. Oh, my little brother, my little brother, my little brother.
Yeah, I record me, dude.
I did. I clipped you today, I think, in the room in the morning with Ben. I got your good political analysis there about neoliberalism.
Yeah, and Ben actually, good stuff. James asked me, why the fuck is he actually surprised that you said something good? I was like, I know. Like, half the people didn't even know what the fuck I was talking about.
Yeah, I think people are like suspicious of what you're saying because they can't quite understand what you're saying. It's like a little too, technical for them. So it is a senior citizen room. Ben is fucking old.
The only thing is, when I talk in that room, I'm not part of like the Trump derangement syndrome. Like, oh my god, I'm actually saying something interesting intellectually, and that room can't handle that. That's such a level of bandwidth intellectually they can't handle.
What's the Ezra Klein video you keep referencing?
That quote I had was from that Ezra Klein. So Ezra Klein does this podcast for the New York Times, and it's fantastic. He's a liberal guy, leftist guy. He has conservatives on. He has all sorts of people on. And that quote I got from the today was, I referenced the conversation. That was it. So that conversation he had with this guy who wrote this book on political orders, which is like, he's a scholar on this stuff. And so I was referencing that conversation. Ezra Klein creates amazing content. He just takes a podcast like several days a week, and it's all long form conversations. And he's a super smart guy, and he's a little like his personality sometimes grates on me, but he creates amazing content. I mean, it's just he just these great long form conversations, and